hot usually, but just I got a lot to catch up on. All right, so Thursday. Hang on. I have a lot to catch up on. Thursday, my mom called me like 11:30 at night. It turns out she'd been throwing up for hours and couldn't stop. Okay. So I went to her house and helped clean her up, and we took off and went to the emergency room. Got to the emergency room about 12:30 at night. And we sat in the lobby. Now, luckily, we went ahead and drew some blood. That's good. And we sat in the lobby till 3:30 in the morning. Then they finally called us back. My mom had stopped throwing up by that point. So I thought, well, okay, cool. Maybe it's going to be okay. But we get back. Then they do a urine test, and they find out she's got a kidney infection. So, okay, so they give her antibiotic as a pill, and we leave the hospital about 5:30 in the morning and get home by 6. My mom, I get her settled, and I get home like 7 o'clock. So she goes to sleep like as soon as we get to the house. I'm like, okay, cool, she'll sleep. And they called in a prescription, so I went home, slept till 11. Started working, and then noon I went to the pharmacy, picked up her meds, and went to her house and gave her the first dose of the antibiotic, and I worked from her house. And then I go home, and she's been nauseous feeling, but she wasn't throwing up. I kept trying to convince her to eat something, but she was too scared to do it because she didn't want to throw up. I thought, well, she'll stabilize and she'll eat, and we'll keep taking antibiotics and it'll get better. Then she calls me. No, I called her. Sorry. I called her, checking on her at 8 o'clock. Because I worked for a while and then I went home. And I called her at 8 o'clock, and she does not sound good at all. She's throwing up again. She's incoherent. She doesn't sound like herself at all, and she's giving me the wrong answer to questions, or she's just not understanding anything I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. I said, so I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to my mom's, and I'm probably calling an ambulance to pick her up. So went to my mom's. The situation was bad. I'd already told my mom, when I get there, I'm going to call an ambulance, and you're going to the hospital. And she did not fight me at all on that. And the reason for the ambulance is I thought, well, we'll get an ambulance, maybe they'll start going ahead and do IV fluids, because I think she's dehydrated. And that way there be anything happens, because she's had a pain in her left side, extreme pain. Well, I don't know about extreme, but it just hurt a lot, and it was hurting a lot more than it did the day before. So I had called the ambulance, called 911, had the ambulance come pick her up. I explained to him, look, she was in the hospital last night, and we went home, and she's just much worse now. And so ambulance got her, took her back. I didn't want her to wait in a lobby because that's what we would have done. So luckily, they took her straight back to a bed in the ER. My sister, after she got off work, came up there and they hung out. And something must be magical about 5 o'clock, because at 5 o'clock, they finally got my mom in a room. Her vitals were worse than they were the night before. The night before, she didn't have her white blood cell and red blood cell count were normal. Now her white blood cell count was really high. And her sodium level had dropped a little bit. She had a problem with sodium last year, so don't worry about this. Anyway, so they did finally admit her. Very incoherent. So, I went home, slept 3 hours. Got the oil changed in the car, because that was a thing that was bugging me, because the light was on. Need oil change. So I went and got an oil change, and after I got the oil change and run an errand for everybody, I went back to the hospital and hung out with my mom for a while. And they had gotten her settled again. She had drifted to sleep and was sleeping. So I'm like, well, if she's gonna sleep, I'm gonna go home and sleep. So I went home, sat down on the couch, and went to sleep. And about 6:30, I got a text from my aunts, because they were up there with her, and kind of asking me for details, and also but giving me updates on what they were seeing there. And yeah, your mom's really incoherent. Yeah, she's not herself right now. So yeah, lots of fun. Anyway, my sister, once I went back last night and tried to get her settled again, then I get a phone call at 3:30 in the morning. That's my mom. She said that the nurses weren't coming to see her or anything. I don't know. I don't know if that's legit or not, because she's been pretty incoherent. So I don't know she doesn't seem to know what's real right now, but maybe. So I asked her if she can see the nurse's number on the board, and she said, no, they got the lights turned off. I can't see. The TV's on. She can't find the speaker that's got the button she could call the nurse with, but it's fine. So I call into the hospital and get the nurse on the floor she's on and say, hey, can you guys check on her? My mom just called me and this is what she thinks. And so anyway, so that's the last detail I have at this point. My sister's going up this morning. I'm at church where I need to be, and I'm helping with video, so it's going to be, I'll be busy for a while. And then I'll go and see her after church and figure out the next part of this adventure. So anyway, she's where she needs to be, doing IV antibiotics. They did a culture. They know what antibiotic to give her, and so they got her on that. So hopefully it'll start kicking in. Let the adventure begin. Anyway, that's my update. Bye. Happy Sunday.